Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be reviewing the Feedback Sports Range Twist Portable Torque Wrench. Wrenches are an important tool for any cyclist to ensure you don't strip or damage sensitive bike components. However, most torque wrenches are not very portable and have fixed torque settings that limit versatility. Feedback Sports' new Range Twist Torque Wrench is a solution to this issue with a compact form factor and a novel pivoting design. Packaging-wise, you can see very simple. You have a nice glossy representation of the actual tool on here, and then some of the specs and features printed on the sides. Go ahead and open this up. We'll go over the full specs. Retail price on the wrench is $75. Use a torsion bar style, so you don't have any presets. You simply just start tightening it up, and you just watch the gauge to see what the current setting's at. You have 2 to 8 Newton meter range, so that covers most simple bike jobs. And then you have a very compact form factor with this pivoting outer body, so it's very small at about 5 inches length. You also have 6 bits included, and that includes up to 10 different fastener sizes, as some of them are dual-sided. And they're all integrated directly into the top cap, so a very compact and portable solution. And then you have the CNC aluminum body with Feedback Sports' nice red anodized finish that really stands out. As far as what comes with it, obviously you have very basic packaging with the cardboard and recycled material, and then the tool itself. And then again, you have the 10 different fastener types with the 6 bits, and they have a 4mm precision bit shank style, which is a little bit smaller than the standard ones. And that's pretty much all you have. Now let's take a look at the weight of the Range Twist. So the tool with all the bits on there, it comes in at 93 grams. The Feedback Sports Range Twist slots between the Reflex Fixed Torque Wrench and then their larger range click in both size and price. With this torsion bar style, you don't have any presets, you simply just start rotating, and that means it's a lot smaller than a standard click style wrench, which has a ratcheting head and then a gauge. You can see with this one, it is rated for 2 to 8 Newton meter. And again, no preset required. You simply just start rotating, and then you have the indicators here on the side. One of the cool features about this is the folding design though. So that's why it's so compact. You have a pen style main body, and then the outer body, which has this beautiful red anodization with the Feedback Sport logo, and then the polished and knurled end cap, which conceals the actual bits. Folded up, this thing is only 5 inches long, or 127 millimeters, so it's small enough to put in a saddlebag or a pocket. And then one of the cool party tricks here again is the fact that it unfolds. So you can see it pivots near the top of the outer body, and then the outer body slots over the main body. So it makes it very compact, and with this folded, you can see it's only about 3.4 inches by 3.6, so a lot more compact, or 86 by 91 millimeters, and you have a nice ergonomic handle, so you get a nice T-handle design to get a little bit more leverage. The main body here is black, and you can see with it open, you can actually see Range Twist printed here. It has a little bit of a tapering, and that matches the tapering on the outer body, and you can see again, really nice red anodization that extends all the way through. And then you have the gauge here on the bottom to indicate what the current torque setting is. You can also see some premium details like the precise curvature on the outer body, the nice anodization, and really the feel of it really feels well made and matches the price point. As far as the bits, you get 6 actual bits, and they have this 4mm precision bit hex shank, so it's a little bit smaller than your standard 5mm ones, or the 6.35 ones, or 1/4 inch bits that you normally have, but still very common, and they're typically labeled precision bit. You can see I have a really cool holder, so 6 bits but 10 different fastener types. 4 of these are dual-sided, and then the holder kind of looks like a revolver barrel, so you can see they're in a nice radial pattern, and each of these are the 4mm size that matches the holder. This is not magnetic though, so you can see it simply slides in, and you have to be very careful not to open this up upside down or at an angle as they just slide out. The bits themselves are not labeled, but they're the standard S2 steel. And you can see one side is the 4mm, and then this is either a 5 or the larger 6 one. And with this one, you get 6 different hex sizes. So you get everything from 2 to 2.5, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. You can see the main body again is the 4. No labels or color indication, so you might have to have a little bit of trial and error. You also get a couple Torx bits. You get the T10 and then the T25, as well as a Phillips head and then a 3.5 millimeter flathead, which is pretty convenient for trying to pry up something. And you can see with all of these, they're fairly long, so 25 millimeters long. And they go into the receiver with a nice magnetic design that you can actually hear. So really nice and secure, and you can see how it extends outward. With the bit on there, you can see you can either just use it as is, so you can just do it if it's very compact, or if you have a little bit more space and more ergonomic design, you can open up the outer body. All the bits go in any different pattern to go back in. You just have to make sure the larger hex sizes obviously stick out, as they won't fit inside the 4 millimeter hole. But it's a pretty cool design, and with this one, everything is really well placed. So everything's convenient. You don't have to worry about another storage bag, and it's all at the tips of your hand. As with all the Feedback Sports products, you can also purchase all the bits separately. So if you lost one, they have all the parts separately, so you don't have to rebuy everything. As far as the gauge here, this is torsion style again, so no preset. And it's a little bit confusing, but you see 2 to 8 Newton meters indicated on the bottom. And then the little arrows, and then you'll notice that the arrow spacing and the 8 is wider than the arrow to 2. So it doesn't really take much force to get to 2. And if you're at 3, it's a little bit more, and the highest one's 8. So to use this one, you just want to line up the spot you want, and then watch the arrow. You only have 1 Newton meter increment, so 7.5 or 7.1 is not really achievable, but if you want to get to the whole number and you're patiently looking at it, you can use this. And as it says here on the back side, do not use this to loosen it, as if you loosen a really tough bolt, it could really damage this. So that's one big downside of this torsion style. It is not rated for counterclockwise use, so you may need another tool to loosen it, and then this to tighten it up. Now let's take a look at the tool in action. With its compact size, it's really easy to grip, and with that pivoting design, it's also very ergonomic. You do have to be very careful with the torque setting, so when you're actually rotating it, you really have to watch the exact arrow that you want. Unlike a click torque wrench, it's very easy to over tighten it. So you do have to be careful. That's one downside of this torsion style. Otherwise, nice and easy to use. The precision bits work well, so especially on a stem bolt or other places where you need that 5 or 6 Newton meters. It's a really great option, and again, with the pivoting arm, you have tons of leverage. Here you can see how the arrow rotates, so you have to look at the right one. It's a little bit confusing at first, but if you want it 3, you look at how 3 approaches the right value. And here, if you want it 6, you rotate it around and then carefully rotate it. So it's pretty easy to use, but obviously takes a little bit more care. As you can see here, we've actually reviewed the other Feedback Sport products, like their Reflex and then the Range Click. So this one actually slots between that. We have the Reflex here, and you can see very compact, has its own little carrying case. And with this one, it had a fixed torque bit. So with this one, you could only do the 5 Newton meters, which covers most basic tasks like your stem, but you can't do 6 or 7 or more flexibility like you have here. This was a ratchet design with the Reflex. So a really nice tool, but obviously a little bit different. With this one, you get more torque settings, and you can't use the range twist for counterclockwise use, while the ratchet, you could obviously use it for counterclockwise as you have other bits and the reversible head. But you can see size-wise, it's a little bit larger than that one, but you get the additional torque settings. And then here you can see the difference between the bits. So these are the standard bits, and you can see they have a wider hex design than the range twist, which is 4 millimeters, and this is the 6.35 or 1/4 inch. They also have the Range Click, which is a click style torque wrench. Really nice case with this one. So you can see everything's well organized. You get a similar 1/4 inch drive bit holder and some extensions. This one's quite a bit more expensive though, so I think around $125. And then you have the preset here where you can set the setting, and then the reversible head with the click design. So it actually clicks when you hit the actual torque setting. You can see size-wise, the ratchet is obviously a little bit bigger with a click style. And with this one, you have the really cool pivoting design. So more ergonomic than just this full-length wrench design. But obviously this one is a little bit harder to use. It's nice to have the gauge. And this one had a little bit more range. So 2 to 14 versus 2 to 8. But very similar design. This one's just a little bit more compact. There's also tons of other options on the market. Here we have something from the Pro Bike Tool. This is their T-handle torque wrench, and it has 4, 5, and 6 Newton meters, so it is click style. And with this one, they actually have their bits as a little bit of a carousel. So a similar kind of revolver radial design, but it's a separate piece. Similar anodization with this knurling and a T-handle design. So this one's pretty cool, but again, limited to 4, 5, and 6. And you have to pull the handle up and then rotate it until the arrows line up. But the nice thing about this one is it is a click style, while this one you do have to be more careful with. Topeak also has quite a few options. Here we have their Torq stick. So you can see the range twist is smaller, and the bits for the Topeak one comes in a separate piece. That's kind of a little clip-on attachment, and you can see all the bits on the inside. So not nearly as compact, but still fairly portable. And again, the nice thing about this is that it is click style. So you do have a gauge and a little bit more range with 2 to 10, but you do pay the price with the portability. You can also just get a standard ratchet. So if you don't need a torque wrench, a small ratchet does the trick. So this one, you can see this is their Ratchet Essentials HD. And you get a really nice aluminum ratchet, similar in size, but obviously no torque setting, so you just loosen it or tighten it until it feels tight, and then use a torque wrench later to get the exact value. And then if you're at home, you probably want a more complete torque wrench. This one is more of kind of a portable version, but here you see the Torq Stick Pro from Topeak, and you can see much larger, tons of bits, and everything self-contained in a nice little box. So if you don't really care about portability, you get a lot more range, so 4 to 20, and again, click style, so very easy to use, and you don't have to watch the gauge carefully. Now let's go with the pros and cons for the range twist. What we like about it, it's very small, easily fits in a pocket or a saddlebag, and it's one of the smallest torque wrenches we've used. You also have an impressive quality with the premium details like the anodization and the knurling. Feedback Sports has also added a clever twist design where it allows the outer body to pivot around the inner one to give a really nice leverage and an ergonomic grip. As far as cons, it does lack a carrying bag, so it may get scratched up if you put it in a saddlebag. Also, the bit holder doesn't have magnets. The actual main holder is magnetic, but the ones that actually store it are not, so you have to be careful. If you hold it sideways, all the bits will just slide out. Also, there's very close spacing between all the torque values, so between 2 to 7 or 8, there's really not much of a gap, so it would have been nice if they made it bigger to make it easier to find the exact torque value. Taking everything into account, we'd give the range twist an 8.9 out of 10. It's a really compact torque wrench. Thanks for watching this review. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can see more content from us on our website at thesweetcyclist.com, as well as follow us on Instagram at thesweetcyclist. This is The Sweet Cyclist reminding you to enjoy the ride.